So you decide to move to France, but how do you go about it? What steps do you take? What's the best way to move forward? This here is the second video of 3. The first video is talking about the preparation before you go on the actual trip. This video here is more about the actual physical visits, let's say, and the third video I'll be doing, or have done, or will be doing, depending on when you're seeing this, is about the actual legal process in here and how the actual purchase moves forwards. As I mentioned in the first video, this is very much just guidelines because there's too many variants to go into detail on each thing. This will be like a 3-hour film. So basic guidelines for you. Here we go. So you're on the road, the appointments are booked up and you're ready to see some houses. Here's a few things to keep in mind while you're doing it. To start with, depending on the size and structure of the agency and the geographical area they cover, some will meet you in their agencies and take you from there. Others will meet you either at the house or at some nearby landmark, let's say the village church, for example. If for whatever reason you're actually running late for an appointment, or even if you wish to cancel an appointment, please contact your agent as soon as possible. Don't worry, they won't bite your head off. They prefer to know that you're running late or even cancelled rather than sitting around waiting for you to turn up and not know. If you're seeing properties in a rural area, don't be surprised if the agent asks you to follow them in your car, especially if you have young children with safety seats and or a pet with you. One word of warning though is actually always check with the actual agent before you set off where you are going. The French don't have a reputation for being slow drivers, so you might get separated on the way, but at least you put it in your GPS and meet them there when it comes to it. At the beginning of each visit or group of visits with an agent, they will give you what we call a bon de visite. This is basically a paper stipulating some basic details about the house so you can identify them and saying that you agree that you are visiting the house with these agents, and if you wish to purchase one, then obviously you'll go via that agent to do so. It also covers you for insurance, gives you a legal reason to be in the property in case there is an accident. If you do actually refuse to sign the bon de visite, it's a pretty good chance that your agent will refuse to show you the property or properties. It's part of the legal system over here, saying that not all agents do actually use a bon de visite. They should do because it covers you for insurance, but there you go. When you arrive at each property, the agent will give you a property sheet with basic descriptions of the actual property on there. This can be more or less detailed depending on the agency, but worst case scenario always gives you some paper you can write down notes on about the property. And in most cases, there will be no problem with you taking your own photos or even a short video of the properties as you go around. Saying that, always check the agent first. My little hint when you're going around the properties, especially if you're seeing several in a day, is to try and remember something stupid about it. Not something logical, not something house related, something stupid. It could be a pet animal doing something stupid. It could be an unusual picture or collection of items on the shelf. It could be an unusual flower. Something not house related, because this will actually help you build up the image at the end of the day. If you try to remember the houses by the logical details, like so many bedrooms, what sort of kitchen, how many bathrooms, was it south facing, north facing, whatever, that will get a bit too blurred by the end of the day. If you think about something stupid, your brain will build up a mental image of the house and help you remember it a lot better. As you go around the properties, it's important to actually verify with the agent certain facts about each one of them. For example, what are the local taxes, is the sanitation up to spec, etc, etc. To learn more about what questions to ask, check out this video here. So at the end of a day's visits, you want to sit down, why not with a bottle of French wine, and review each property. Write it up if you're on your own. If you're not on your own, discuss it with your partner or partners, and go through each house, giving it good points, bad points, etc. That way, if you're having several days visits, at the end of it, you can actually sit down and remember all the properties well, and hopefully come to a decision on the property you want to move forward on. If, however, you haven't found your dream home in the properties you've seen so far, it's a good idea to have a word with the agent who took you out. They've been there with you, seen your reaction to different properties, and quite often they will actually have some other properties they can show you if you want to be a bit more flexible on some of your criteria. Sometimes it might be a case of just upping your budget slightly, but if you can't do that, sometimes if you actually want to move a geographical sector slightly or possibly reduce the size of the house, it might help you to actually find the property which suits you. So let's say you found the house of your dreams. How do you move forward on it? Well, to start with, you need to understand what is in the actual asking price on the details you have for that property. Are the agency fees included? Is the notary's fees included? Does the actual sales price include some eventual furniture or equipment for the house? You need to verify all that with your agent. From this, you can then structure your offer and make that said offer to your agent. Don't forget to stress what is included in your offer or not, as in the fees or furniture and equipment, as this will save a lot of complications later. Once that is done, the agent will no doubt prepare a formal written offer which they will ask you to sign. On that, it will have a breakdown of the prices and the fees, etc. Once you sign this, they will then go and see the vendor or talk to them on the phone if they're at a distance to try and get them to agree to the actual offered price. Once this is done, the vendor will countersign the offer, and this is considered a done deal then. The next step is an initial contract, which is called either a compromis de vente or a promise de vente. There are two different contracts, but both very similar. I won't bore you with the complexities of it in this video, but I will explain the basics in the third video of this trilogy, which is linked at the end here. And if you watch this video through to the end, you've no doubt found it interesting. If so, if you don't mind clicking that like button and also the subscribe and bell buttons, and I'll be back soon with another information video for you.